So the last time we were talking about dividing long division, we were working with estimating. So to refresh, we were saying 34 into 1,705. We just looked at the first number, which is 3, and figured out that it can go into the first two digits here, 17. And because 3 times 5 is the closest at 15, our estimate was 5. Now, this is just the estimate. We have to actually find out if it's going to work. So, we're going to take our estimate of 5, and we're going to make our space back there. And we're going to really try out 34 times 5 to see what it equals. So, 5 times 4 is 20, carry the 2. 5 times 3 is 15, plus 2 is 17. So it actually comes out to be exactly 170. Sometimes that happens, but a lot of times it's not going to be exactly the same answer. All right, so our estimate was 5, which actually worked. Let me erase my little line here. We'll put 170 down below. And because we took care of all 3 digits, we're going to put our 5 right above the last number that we were dividing into, okay? So then we end up with 0. Now, I don't always put all of my zeros out. Once I know that all the numbers in front are 0, I usually just bring down the 1 0, okay? So then we know our next step is to bring down one number at a time. And our one number this time is 5. And so I know that 5 is way small compared to 34, okay? So I know 34 cannot go into 5 at all. So I'm going to have to use 0. 34 times 0 is the closest that we're going to get to 5. So 34 times 0 is 0, which leaves 5. So once we don't have any more numbers to bring down, we know that what's left is our remainder. And depending on, your teacher, writing a little r for remainder and then putting the remainder next to it completes our problem, okay? Let's try the next one. So now we have our 63, and we took the first digit, which was 6, and since 6 wouldn't go into 4, we took 6 into 41. And we thought through our multiplication facts for 6 and found that 6 times 6, which is 36, is the closest to 41. So we're going to use our estimate to actually find the answer. So let's see what 63 times 6 is. So again, somewhere on the side of your page, we'll do 63 times 6. So we've got our 6 times 3 is 18. Carry the 1. Now we have 6 times 6 plus 1. 6 times 6 is 36, plus 1 is 37, okay? So in this case, it's not exact. We didn't get 418. We got 378. Now, sometimes your estimates are not close, and you're like, well, I'm not sure. Try the next one, okay? We just don't want to go over. So let's try 63 times 7. So we have 7 times 3 is 21. 6 times 7 is 42, plus 1 is 43. So clearly, 432 is too much. We're only trying to get 418. So when you're estimating, sometimes we get exact, sometimes we're too small, sometimes we're too big. But it helps you to figure out where to go, okay, to get you close. So we're going to use the 6. So we have 378. We'll go here. Notice that I'm not going to erase all this extra work. I never know what number I might need to try next, so always leave your notes there on the side. So here we go. Let's subtract. 8 minus 8. For 1 minus 7, we'll have to borrow, because I can't take 7 from 1. So we'll borrow from the 4. 4 becomes 3. And my 1 is now 11. So now we've got 11 minus 7. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 is 4. All right. And we can always double check to make sure that we went high enough. Whatever number is left down here before you bring the next number down should not be bigger than what you were dividing by, okay? So if this number had been 64, then I know I didn't go large enough with my 6. Yep, and I forgot to put my 6 right up here. There we go, okay? So we're gonna bring down the next number. And now I'm looking at 63 going into 404. I'm going to need to estimate again. I didn't have to estimate here because 5 was so small. But this time, 404 and 63 are still large numbers. So I'll still think about the first number, 6. It won't go into 4. 4 is too small, but we can think about taking it into 40. And this is just my way to help us see what number. This is not the line to subtract, okay? So let's think through our 6 facts. So we've got 6 times 5, which is 30. 6 times 6 is 36, which is close to 40. 6 times 7 is 42, which is too much. So it sounds like we're going to be using 6 again for our estimate. Because 6 times 6 is 36. Well, since we kept our notes here, we already know what 6 times 6 is. And we already know that 6 times 7 is going to be too big. Or 63 times 7 is too big. And 63 times 6 will work out for us. So I'm going to erase my little estimate line there. We're going to use 6 again. So 378. Subtract it. I'm going to have to borrow. I can't take 8 from 4. Can't borrow from 0. Got to borrow from the 3. Which would make that 0 a 10. And now I can borrow, make that 9, and 4 is 14. All right, so I've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which gives us 6. We've got 9 minus 7, which is 2. We always double check. 26 is less than 63. So I went enough. I didn't have to go any higher. I don't have any more numbers to bring down. So 26 is our remainder. All right. So we know that our answer is 66, remainder 26.